Marilyn Gladu crossed the floor this past week. That caused a lot of commotion everywhere. Even when I heard it I thought it was unbelievable. I said, seriously? Marilyn, we've spoken to her. She is probably one of the most conservative of conservatives. And for her to cross the floor, you wonder what on earth is going on. I mean, she's pro-life, she's stood up against C9, all the things that we are kind of happy and cozy with. She was one of those members that you could rely on. And she crossed the floor. And immediately, I started to hear all kinds of stuff. I mean, I saw all kinds of things on there from Christians that we really shouldn't be saying. I even saw someone call her a liar, and really strong language. So when you put your trust and put your faith in government and things go sideways, you get kind of disappointed. And to say that I wasn't disappointed, that's wrong. I was a little bit disappointed, but I had a process and I had to think. You know, this past week, last Tuesday, we were praying this prayer from Psalms. Send out your light and send out your truth that it would lead us and lead us to your holy hill. So we're praying these prayers, right? God, send out your life. And for years, we have been praying, Lord, in all the parties, let your light and your truth go forth. Lord, pray for boldness for the believers in all the parties to shine brightly. And Marilyn crosses the floor. Now, many of you might think, oh, she's backslidden. I don't know if she's backslidden. I have no idea. I probably think not. I don't know why she did. And, you know, we can wring our hands and be all upset. No, they got it. Now there's a for sure majority for the Liberals. Oh, my goodness, what are we going to do? And my friend MP Richard Bragdon says this: God doesn't need a majority to do the things that he needs. He only needs a remnant. He only needs a remnant. And that's us. We are a remnant. Not the remnant, but we are a remnant. And we are crying out to God and calling for his purposes because we have been called to disciple nations. Not form governments, disciple nations. That's who we are called to be. To preach the good news to those around us. Marilyn and I get to preach the good news on Parliament Hill. You get to preach good news to your neighbors, to your families, to those on your street, those in your workplaces. We are discipling nations. Our hope is in the Lord. That's where our hope. And the nation will be saved by the power of Jesus Christ, not how good our government is. It's good to have good government. It's good to have righteous leaders. But God's going to do what God's going to do. And the revival that is coming to our nation is not going to come from the House of Commons. It's going to come from your house. That's where the revival is coming from. It's coming from your house, from your church, from your prayer group. It is when we preach the good news, we set captives free. Scripture tells us that some trust in chariots, some in horses. I'm going to paraphrase, some in political parties, some in governments. But we will trust in the name of the Lord our God. Continue to pray for members of Parliament. Continue to pray because the temptation to abandon their principles is very real. Pray for your members of Parliament. Doesn't matter what party they stand for. Pray for them. But pray the main thing. Let me go back to the main thing being the main thing. I'm going to just remind you. Pray all kinds of prayers for everybody. For kings and those in authority, that we have peaceful and godly lives. This is good and it pleases God. And we usually stop there, but I want to continue, and it tells us the why, so that all men and women would be saved and come to the knowledge of the truth. That is the point of making disciples of nations. I'm Chris Byberg, the director of the National House of Prayer, and we will see you next time. Bye for now. you.